This is a kind of different video because this is not a news story. This is not a news article that I'm looking at. There's not in the news. I wanted to ask you guys a question on what you guys think because this is something that I have been thinking about a lot. And it is, who is a worse person? Who has a lower moral standard that we can clearly see? Who is more of a douchebag? And who works less for the American people? Who is more evil? Donald Trump or Paul Ryan? Okay, because I feel that Paul Ryan often gets overlooked in the process because Paul Ryan is the head of one of the craziest Republican parties that we have ever seen in the history of ever. Um, I mean, the guy has such a control of Congress. You know that the Republicans have tried repealing Obamacare over 60 times? It actually passed, I think, through the House and maybe through the Senate. I'm not sure. I think it didn't pass in one of the houses. It's most likely the Senate. But the only thing fully preventing it from being repealed was Obama being there. So now they don't have the Senate seats, I think, to actually get the repeal through. However, they can defund it because that only requires a majority. So basically, what this is Paul Ryan is the brains behind it, and I feel like this is the same connection with Mike Pence towards Donald Trump too. Is that he is the brains of the. It's kind of like the Cheney Bush. Like Cheney was the mastermind, but behind the evil that's being done. So it's like Trump doesn't know how to get laws passed. That motherfucker only knows how to tweet his shit. I don't even think he knows how to go and give a press conference. Like, the dude doesn't know anything but waking up at 3. The dude probably has an alarm at 3 a.m. He's like, I'm going to die soon. I want to troll America. I'm just going to make some tweets about some random foreign leader, or maybe like The Wall or Toyota. I'm gonna choose some random company that outsourced less jobs than I did and just patronize them. So, anyways, I'm getting a little off topic again, but again, I'm just seeing these stories over and over again about the repeal of Obamacare that's starting to go into motion, and Trump hasn't even taken office yet. I mean, Paul Ryan seems to be one of the biggest douches on the. No, I'm not saying on the planet. In the country. Trump, obviously. Now, here is the difference to me, okay? And here's what I wanted to say. Again, Trump doesn't know how to get legislation passed. He doesn't know how to propose legislation. I guarantee the first instinct that he has when it comes to proposing legislation, tweeting something. Anyways, that's what president-elects do nowadays. Paul Ryan does know how to get legislation proposed. He does know how to get it passed. He does know how to brainwash certain Democrats into voting for it. He does know how to get Republicans to vote for it. Definitely Republicans. That's something that Obama couldn't do, was to get Congress to vote on his shit. So even when they have a supermajority. So he is the brains behind what is going on. And here's what I have to say as well. If you remember, he was the vice president for the Mitt Romney ticket back in 2012 where they lost. So he also was condemning Donald Trump during the primary season because he wanted a more establishment type of candidate, like a John McCain or something like that, or Jeb Bush maybe. But here's the thing. The difference between a Jeb Bush and a Donald Trump is that they want the same things most of the time. Okay, there's certain things where you can say maybe they want a little bit different. However, in this case that I'm talking about, which is domestic policy, it is that Trump is overt with what he wants to do, and Paul Ryan is like the silent assassin for what he wants to do. He does not overtly act racist. He does not overtly act like he wants to. He doesn't overtly say what he wants to do, like repealing Obamacare. So even though Trump has it on his website, he has said multiple times that he will not touch Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, like Bernie Sanders, brought that big-ass tweet to the Senate House. But anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Is Paul Ryan a worse human being, or is Trump a worse human being? because Trump overtly says what he says, but he doesn't know how to get the legislation passed. He's not the brains behind it. He's just a figurehead. He's a puppet. He's a bitch, basically. Paul Ryan is the silent killer. He knows how to get things passed. He knows how to get it proposed. He knows how to get people to vote for it. He knows how to fuck over the American people hardcore. They're about to repeal Obamacare. 22 million people insured. Gone. Gone. If they are not making enough money, they have any minimum wage job, which is a ton of America, and they get cancer, they get diagnosed with cancer, they cannot even afford their fucking treatment prices. They will either live in debt and in suffering and in misery and pain and wondering why the government won't help him out, or he's just going to die because he can't afford the treatment. So, I mean, they're going to defund Planned Parenthood, and I know I've kind of gone into this, but Paul Ryan is also a very corporate type guy. So you could argue that Trump is going out on Twitter trying to condemn companies for actually outsourcing their jobs, but he outsourced his own jobs, and I still don't believe for a second, and I can guarantee this, Trump will not propose a policy that is a 35% tax or a tariff, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He ain't going to propose it. He's a businessman himself. He outsources most of his jobs, if not all of them. He knows what that is. He just likes to he likes to fuck with the American people. That's what he's done. And I have just realized in this past week what kind of a monstrous 4 years we're going to have with the presidency being Donald Trump, the president being Donald Trump, the Speaker of the House being Paul Ryan, Democrat minority in the Senate, Democrat minority in the House, Democrat minority governor. There's a Supreme Court vacancy with the Republican-controlled Congress, President Trump. Oh man, this is not looking good. If Obamacare gets repealed, they ain't gonna replace it with anything. What they say they're gonna replace it with is the freedom to buy a healthcare package. What the fuck? You ain't repealing it with shit. Oh my god. We are in for one of the worst 4 years in American history. I take that back. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm gonna say modern American history. How about the 21st century? That's an easy said. It's tough to get worse than under Bush, but what we have to make sure, guys, is in 2018, we do not allow a Republican majority to retain. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm in California, so it's not like I can do much about that in the first place, but everyone has to try, man. And in 2020, Trump cannot win the presidency, and I really deeply want to know who is the worst human being, Paul Ryan or Donald Trump.